Tata Motors Passenger Vehicle is suddenly surrounded by panic, noise, and unsettling headlines. The stock corrected after a strong run, and what looked like a small fall quickly turned into chaos on social media. Rumors started spreading, fear became louder than logic, and many investors began questioning whether something was breaking behind the scenes. Welcome to Invest with Sumit. If you want clarity when markets feel noisy and frustrating, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. We post such relatable stock market stories every single day to help Indian investors separate rumors from real analysis. The recent panic started after Tata Motors Passenger Vehicle corrected by around 3 to 4% from its recent high. This fall felt disturbing mainly because it came after a strong upward move. Whenever a stock falls after a rally, emotions take control and logic steps back. That is exactly what happened here, and the market reaction became louder than the actual issue. The biggest trigger behind this noise was the Jaguar Land Rover sales data released in early January. Wholesale volumes dropped by more than 43%, and retail sales declined by over 25%. On the surface, these numbers looked weak and unsettling, but this was not completely unexpected. A cyber incident had already disrupted operations earlier, so softer numbers were known in advance. Still, once the data became official, panic selling increased and frustration spread across the market. As the stock reacted to this news, it slipped into an important technical zone between 355 and 360. Whenever stocks enter such levels with negative headlines, charts start looking scary and noise dominates analysis. This is the phase where chaos feels stronger than facts, even when the business story has not changed dramatically. Global uncertainty added more pressure to the situation. Geopolitical tensions, oil-related concerns, and trade deal uncertainty created a disturbing environment for auto stocks. Metals and energy costs are closely linked to global events, so when global noise rises, automobile stocks often react faster and harder. Global exposure matters deeply for Tata Motors because a large part of its revenue comes from outside India. Around 33% of revenue comes from North America, 19% from the United Kingdom, 18% from Europe, 13% from China, and the remaining 16% from other regions. Jaguar Land Rover contributes the largest share in this mix, which is why any disruption in JLR immediately creates panic among investors. While global noise dominated headlines, domestic performance in India remained strong, but this part of the story was largely ignored. Industry data showed that compact vehicle production increased to over 31,000 units compared to around 24,000 units earlier. Domestic sales also rose in a similar range. Exports in this segment improved sharply, increasing from around 230 units to nearly 1,400 units. This clearly showed improving domestic momentum despite global worries. Utility vehicles like Nexon and Punch also showed steady growth, with production and domestic sales rising. However, one segment showed temporary weakness, where production dropped from around 16,000 units to roughly 3,600 units, and domestic sales declined from over 15,000 units to around 3,900 units. This looked negative at first, but bookings of over 72,000 units were recorded, indicating that the data may reflect reporting lag rather than weak demand. In electric vehicles, Tata Motors Passenger Vehicle continues to dominate the Indian market. It sold around 6,400 units and held a market share of more than 43%, ahead of competitors like MG and Mahindra. This leadership position strengthens long-term confidence, even when short-term panic creates noise. Brokerage reports released during this phase suggest that logic still exists behind the chaos. Some brokerages have maintained a target near 450, indicating upside of more than 20% from recent levels. Their optimism is based on potential margin improvement, recovery in Jaguar Land Rover volumes, and better cost control. This shift from negative to gradually positive views is important and often happens quietly while panic dominates headlines. Several important triggers are lined up ahead. A new compact SUV launch is expected in mid-January. Electric vehicle expansion continues. Charging infrastructure investments of around 15 to 16,000 crore rupees are planned, and price hikes of around 3% are also expected. Such triggers can quickly change sentiments. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in next video.